Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 26th edition of Today in the World of Wrestling. Tonight, we are going to be covering the episode of WWE Smackdown Live that was aired on August 16th, 2016. And boy, I got to tell you, this was one hell of a good show.
I had a lot of fun with this tonight. This was great.
This was a massive improvement over Raw last night, and I think it even did a better job of hyping to SummerSlam than Raw did, which is a real shame because Raw's supposed to be your A show, so good job, guys.
Exactly. Couldn't agree with you more, dude.
All right, so since we like to do this by threads rather than just kind of going in chronological order and talking about things as they happen, let's start with this whole Randy Orton, Heath Slater thread that opened the show. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon talking to Orton, talking about this contract signing, and maybe, I guess it wasn't even going to be a contract signing, but they're talking about the contract. And then Heath Slater shows up with a fruit basket, and he's kind of trying to suck up, and they say, you know what, you dissed us last week. And Orton says he takes a bite out of an apple, which immediately people are thinking, oh, he's going to Carlito Slater. But he didn't. He said, I had an idea.
Yeah, so that builds up for the show later on. I really like that.
Yeah, so then later on in the show, we actually got this match. We got Heath Slater versus Randy Orton. And Orton, who is in sort of a zone when it comes to, you know, his mentality right now, he's in a seek and destroy mode because he's going after Brock Lesnar. He knows Brock is a huge threat, and he wants to show that he can take on somebody that threatening. So he takes this to the limit to the point that he actually gets himself disqualified, meaning Heath Slater actually won this match. I mean, granted, Orton kept on beating on him even after the DQ and really destroyed him, including a few German suplexes as a message to Brock before hitting the RKO. But still, Heath Slater technically beat Randy Orton tonight.
Love the fire from Orton and really appreciated the twist with Slater winning. That was great.
Yeah, Slater winning was awesome. And then later on in the night, to really kind of wrap things up with Orton, we got a video package highlighting Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar's careers as they kind of have come up together. They started in OVW together.
Yeah, repeat segment from Raw, but still a good refresher for the SmackDown crowd.
And we also had a Miz TV segment tonight that kind of started off this whole story involving Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. Miz TV, as always, was very full of drama and that kind of stuff. Ziggler was very passionate in this, and he talked about how all of this hate and doubt that people have towards him fuels him. Dean Ambrose is still insistent that Dolph isn't ready to be the man, and Dolph just keeps saying, no, you know, everything you say, everything you do, and you don't have what it takes to put me away. And when we're in this match and you realize that you don't know what else to do to try and put me down, and you're digging deep and trying to find that one move, and then he super kicks him right in the face.
Dolph's really been stepping up, and I commend that. I have more to say on TitWoW.
Okay, that's awesome. That said, though, this wasn't the last that we saw of Ambrose. It was the last we saw of Ziggler, I believe. Because Ambrose was actually in a match against Eric Rowan that he did win. But then the interesting kind of progression that we got here was that Bray Wyatt left Rowan in the ring.
Yeah, gotta wonder if this is leading to Rowan versus Bray potentially at Backlash.
We also had a big tag team kerfuffle. We had the Usos, American Alpha, and the Hype Bros teaming up to take on the Vaudevillains, the Ascension, and Breezango. It's good to know that SmackDown didn't forget about Breezango since they weren't at ringside last week. And neither, I don't think were the Usos either, but I think that one of the Usos was injured prior to this week. So we had a pretty decent match, but really things broke down so early that you can't even tell whether it was a good match or not. American Alpha ended up getting the pin on Aiden English with grand amplitude for the win.
Yeah, fun matchup here, very quick.
Yeah, exactly. So then let's talk about the women that were participating in tonight's episode of SmackDown. Naomi has a really cool new EDM mix of her theme and a really cool entrance with neon light up gear and hair to go with it. It's really awesome. She's like a freaking raver or something. It's really cool. And then her opponent was supposed to be Eva Marie, but her personal ring announcer that always announces her to the ring said that she wouldn't be able to compete tonight, and JBL blamed her driver.
Love the reboot of Naomi, at least as far as the ring attire goes, and Eva's still terrific. I'm loving everything about this.
Later on in the night, though, we had an actual women's match. It was a tag team match, Natalya and Alexa Bliss versus Carmella and Becky Lynch. And during this match, Eva's music hit and she came out, but she wasn't alone because Naomi ended up following her out and trying to beat her up, and it caused enough of a distraction that would have eventually leading to Becky Lynch making Natalya tap out.
Raw take notes.
Thank you, John. So, as I said, there was some interesting stuff on tonight's SmackDown, but nonetheless, we had Curt Hawkins getting a teaser. We knew he was re-signed. It's really cool to see that he's kind of getting this almost Chuck Norris-like build. He's counted to infinity twice. He can slam a rotating door, and he doesn't even flush toilets. He just scares the crap right out of them.
Love these so much.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait to see where they go with this, where his character goes with this. And then we get to our main story of the night. It started in the first hour and ended with the main event. John Cena, Alberto Del Rio with AJ Styles as an onlooker. We got a recap of Cena and Alberto Del Rio's match from Hell in a Cell this past year, where Del Rio made this surprise return during one of Cena's open challenges and beat him for the U.S. title and put him out of action for 9 months. And then we saw ADR backstage, and Styles showed up, and he saw what he did. He was watching him on the WWE Network, and he was so happy. But ADR kind of snubs him, and then AJ just puts him in his place and reminds him who's on the SummerSlam card and who's going to be watching it from catering.
Sick burn by Styles.
And, of course, that wasn't the last that we saw of these guys, because AJ came out to actually watch the main event of the evening, which was John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio. Ended up being a really solid, long match, and as predicted, or as is predictable at this point, John Cena won. However, AJ Styles nailed him with a phenomenal forearm after the match and cut a promo. That wasn't the end of the night, though, John, was it?
No, it was not.
Because Cena ended up countering AJ Styles into the AA, which he hit in the ring, and then he went to the outside, set up the steel steps, took AJ up them, and AA'd him onto the announce table. And that's how we closed SmackDown.
AJ Styles had strong words, but Cena had stronger actions tonight. Great stuff.
Absolutely. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to close out SmackDown today in the world of wrestling, and we will see you for TitWoW. Stay tuned.